The Formal Gamer, podcasts for those with exquisite taste.
So day one.
Day one, we were on a travelling caravan of merchants.
You were on a caravan on your way to Ostholt, which is the biggest city in the region.
I am Ludwig Titancannon.
You can put a van in there if you want.
I don't want a van in my name, that sounds common. Ludwig is a noble gnome, but is a female, misnamed by her father. She's level 2. And she is a warlord, a martial warlord. So she was being she was leaving her family home at the age of in her 30s, single, severely socially troubled, very low charisma, and she's going to go and live with her uncle. She's obsessed with reading about military history and military histories in general. She also has a warhammer. And he's 3'6", so he's quite tall for this group.
You say that, but also another member of the group is Yenwood Shortcloak, who is a travelling teapot salesman. He's a halfling, and he's a male sorcerer, and he's 3'10", so he's got a little bit of height.
Oh man, on the short.
Yeah.
I'm a medium.
Despite the fact you're a tank and I'm fighting, you are the smallest out of the group of halflings, making you even more of a mockery even than the Hobbit movie. Yenwood's a teapot salesman. He used to be a pretty badass sorcerer, but he kind of didn't like the pressure of it, and he preferred just the normal life of a teapot salesman. He's a bit of a chancer as well. He likes talking to people. He's very charismatic.
Which would be being a teapot salesman, obviously. So
if
you're
going to
charismatic people you can ever meet.
Yeah, exactly. Because you have to get excited to sell people teapots, I guess. So he's on the way to a teapot convention where he's looking to buy some nice items he's been looking forward to buying for a while. But obviously the caravan stopped.
And we met. That was later, didn't we?
Yeah.
Day one we were on the caravan. The caravan stopped at a bridge.
Yeah, it got stopped. The bridge was down.
Just before the village, or the sort of large village of Arn.
Just remember what I did at the village. Yeah, the best thing I've ever done for my life. So we spoke to the
caravan master.
Ludwig spoke to very few people, but when she did so, it was awkward and confusing. You'll hear.
How did people respond to that?
They mainly ignored me and spoke to you.
How did people respond to 3'8",
3'6",
3'6", getting shorter?
Shorter. It turns out they're very dismissive of this warlord until, we asked what the problem was, and it turns out they'd raised the bridge because there were goblins attacking.
Yeah.
And there'd been...
Pussies!
No, I mean, they're goblins.
Did I realise it was a D&D game?
Yeah. Man up, deal with the goblins. I mean, they're not orcs. So, they'd been over the bridge, all the towns had been attacked, and the guy in the bridge was being a real pussy about it.
Yeah, it really was.
So we spoke to the guard captain of the caravan, and he was basically like, you can get over there, sort some shit out, and come back over, we'll move the caravan along, and you can ride with us.
Do you remember how you
if you want to come on a ride with me...
Do you remember how you persuaded him?
Yeah, right. Of course I do. I rolled the biggest badass 20 of my life.
So at first you don't succeed.
Yeah.
Then what do you...
Well, the caravan guard, he was ignoring Ludwig. So Ludwig got her sling out, and she saw a crow flying overhead, and she smashed that crow out of the sky with her sling.
He was like a mile up.
Yeah, a mile up. So it fell. Yeah, so it fell at the caravan guard's feet, which I had to roll a 20 for. I found out and did. And so the caravan guard was like, "Wow, this gnome is a badass with a sling." Later events would dictate that I'm not so good with a sling. I don't think I've hurt anyone else with it.
That's pretty much beginner's luck.
I think, was it a sling that... Well, we'll talk about that later, yeah. Then eventually... then we found our friends.
You spoke to one of the caravan guards.
Yes.
You spoke to the caravan guard leader.
The caravan guard leader, because we're pretty light on adventurers, there's only 2 of us, and we're not the tallest, so if there's any part of the adventure which involves reaching high up levers, we're pretty much fucked.
I mean, what if the loot's on a shelf?
Not Not on a shelf, just on a desk.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a halfling gnome pyramid.
Yeah.
what's your pyramid with two of us?
Oh no. Okay, Colin.
So Yenwood quite fancied having some NPC companions, trying to get some of these caravan guards to help, but
Ludwig was sent away because
Yeah.
she was not helping the
no,
situation.
she was definitely a roadblock. But the caravan leader didn't want to spare any men, so being a bit of a chancer, Yenwood went off round the back of the tents and found one of these guards and said, "All right, mate, I was just speaking to your boss, and he said that he wants you to come with us and help us on our adventure. He's going to pay you extra this month."
You can come right now.
Yeah, but we're in a real rush, so you've got to come around now. I wouldn't bother checking with him. And he bought it like a sucker.
I mean, that was quite a high difficulty rolling as well.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
that was a good one as well. So you did that.
You didn't want us to have an NPC, really. You were not prepared for us to be going around convincing NPCs.
To be fair, you would lose him quite quickly.
Yeah.
I had stuff prepared, but not that early.
Yeah. The life of Godar was not a happy one.
No.
Well, his name was Godar.
Situation. Yeah, so Godard came with us, and we convinced him not to check with his boss. Went across the bridge, and then what did you did something to give the game away?
I gave, because it was a high difficulty, I made it a second sort of chance to see if he was going to stay with you. So I made it that he'd turn around and see if you recognised.
Well, I was already waving because I'm polite.
Yeah. Well, the
Ludwig
caravan master
knows
had seen
courtesy.
So when we got across the bridge,
Yeah,
the
he
caravan master ran after.
Yeah.
Was still stuck on the other side and was waving.
Yeah, so he was too far away to hear what he was saying, but he was clearly like pissed off. And then you rolled another ridiculously high roll, and so Godot just started waving back.
Well, because the way
I rather than ignoring it, because we were going to try and ignore it,
Yeah.
I said, "Oh, the caravan guard is waving to us." Because Ludwig would be polite like that.
and the guy bought it and waved back. Godard.
I miss Godar.
Yeah, me too. And a lot of money.
Yeah.
Oh, you will get them. They all have money in it.
One thing that you agreed with the caravan master was that he'd pay you 1,000 gold pieces if you cleared the route and came back and told him within 6 days. He said that if you didn't come back within 6 days, he was going to take all your stuff, which was all your trunks of clothes and teapots and all that sort of stuff, and they would go on the mountain pass round to Osthold.
He said we could meet them there, wouldn't he?
He said, yeah.
Right, we'll ask that in a second, actually.
Yeah.
So our first battle came when we approached a house.
Farmhouse.
Yeah, farmhouse.
Well, you had some options. You could go directly for the village.
Yeah, there was some. What was the village called?
Arm.
That was it. We were looking at the village. We decided we were going to get a view above the village and try and watch it at night because they said the attacks happen at night, and we thought we could be sneaky. It turns out that we are not sneaky people. Even in a field of like very tall grasses, we are very bad at not being seen. So we came across a farmhouse and decided to investigate. And as we approached it, goblins were going from the opposite direction. If you remember,
Yeah.
that happened. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Come on.
So basically, so we spotted them first. We thought we'll get into clever positioning. So I hid behind a hedge with Godar, ready to use my ranged sorcery attacks. Godar was there to protect me. What did you choose to do?
I sensibly thought it would be sensible to climb up on the roof. So I used my athletic skill, which is relatively high, and I climbed up on the roof like a badass. And I've got a thing where I can shout and distract people with like throwing my voice like a little gnome.
Doesn't make sense, Maya. Isn't it a warlord power?
No, that's
Is
my
it gnome power?
That's my gnome
yeah, it's
power.
one of your racial powers.
Oh, I thought it was a warlord
No,
power.
no.
This was stupid.
No, that's a racial power.
That's my race
Because
race.
the other thing is when he comes into harm, he just goes into
Yeah, you go
Which
plays up in a second. So I was on the roof and I was going to try and distract them using my voice, and then we were going to sort of try and ambush them.
Yeah, get them all in, surround them
Yeah.
from our positioning and just.
I'll be honest, at this point, this is our first game of D&D, we thought we were going to kick the shit out of these goblins. We thought we were badass. I think as they came around the corner, the goblins immediately spotted me on the roof. I failed a roll.
No, I think he got spotted.
I got spotted, because then I had to run across the roof.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, he did.
Because that's when...
because you slung and then you missed, and they spotted you, I think. didn't you?
No, I was trying to do the inspiring word. You gave me a stealth check and I failed it.
Oh,
miserably. I didn't botch it, but I rolled a 2, I think.
Oh, yeah.
So they spotted us straight away. So my plan was
because you
that's what one of them tried to sling me.
Yeah, one of them
and he
tried
got the first attack in the game when he was significant.
genuine attack.
Apart from me on a crow, which was a pretty bad attack. One of the goblins botched, and we play the nerd poker botch rules. So
Well, similar sort of.
similar system, yeah. So then we had to roll a percentile dice. We got what was it, 98?
It's a fatal botch.
Fatal botch.
So basically, Danny is poorly hiding on top of a roof, or Ludwig, I should say. So the orcs trying to go, hey, there's a fucking gnome on that roof. Gets out his sling, whips it round, and hits himself in the eye and kills himself.
There was another goblin with him though, wasn't there?
Yeah, he was like, oh, Terry, I told you, mate. You gotta aim that shit.
So I ran and jumped, pretended I jumped off the roof. I made a smashing sound the other side, didn't I? Like I climbed off the roof, using my inspiring sound thing I can do. But actually hid on the roof the other side.
Mm-hmm.
That's when he ran past you and you tried to attack him.
Yeah, so I got in a skirmish with a couple of them. One of the orcs went round, one of the goblins.
Didn't you fire your big massive fireball through the house? Isn't that when that
Oh yes, yes, that did happen. Oh god, why has the Hollywood come knocking at? This is brilliant.
I think it was an acid one. So it was part of
Yeah, it
the-
was an acid award. Yeah, I was like, well, this shit's got serious. It's a big group of goblins. Some of them are chasing around the other side to get the thing. So I drank some of my special acid tea that I carry in a container with me, burped out an acid orb, which floated past all of these fucking goblins who just slowly moved out of the way. It carried on going, smashed through one of the windows of the house.
Out through the other.
Yeah, out through the other, which was near where the goblin was on the other side. We were still looking for Ludwig.
This is so no one got hurt by that. They were just watching acid off flying the building.
Everyone thought it was quite cool, though.
I
I know we were against them, but I think we all had a unanimous feeling it was quite cool.
Yeah, there was a small round of applause.
Yeah. They did that thing where you sort of lean your head back like that. Yeah, pretty badass. At the point though, they probably just thought it was a bush did it because you weren't out your hiding place. Because they saw a bush just emitted a big globe of acid. Now this is where Ludwig launched her perfect attack. She leaned up and she saw the goblins. No one had seen her now. She'd moved across the room.
Re-hid.
Really hid. I was properly hidden, and I whipped out my sling, and I botched it completely.
Fell off the
I
roof.
fell off the roof.
Bounced.
I hit the floor, but
Damage.
one of the gnome things is if you take damage, you disappear. There's a goblin right at the foot of the house, so this goblin saw me fall off, hit the floor, and go completely invisible. So in this goblin's world, he'd had a load of shouting, seen a massive orb of acid fly through a building, hurting no one, and then seen a gnome fall off a building and disappear. I mean, you should have rolled a sanity check for that goblin at that point.
Yeah.
As I remember, you'd actually observed them for a little bit. So you guys had hid there, and they'd actually got in the house as well.
Well, that's why there was a time pressure, because we thought
Yeah.
they were in the house maybe doing something, wanted to stop
But you
them.
heard screaming and stuff
Yeah.
like that,
Yeah.
and fighting. So.
Oh, that's right. And then by that point, we did a bit of fighting, and then a human got thrown out the top window.
I landed on a fence on their
Yeah.
head.
Yeah.
That was horrible. You're a horrible DM.
Fell out the window, completely just dead. No.
Shit got real.
Shit got
I
real.
can't remember whether that was the same sort of Danny fell out of or the other one.
No, he fell out the back.
He fell out.
I fell off the front of the house.
Yeah, it's good.
I remember then we got like a special goblin turned up covered in white paint
Yeah.
that was
Oh,
sort
yeah,
of
he's
shaman
running us
goblin.
down. Yeah.
Was that the shaman goblin? Yeah. There
Well,
was
it was a bit of a
Yeah.
better
was that badass?
version.
That was it. There's a badass goblin.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, shaman orcs we find later. Yeah. So yeah, we know anyone with white paint on them is now badass.
Yeah. So we just mopped them up, didn't we? I don't think.
Yeah.
Just kind of.
Yeah, we were struggling at first, but then eventually we managed to turn it round.
Didn't do too much damage.
Godar survived at this point. He was
Yeah.
doing alright. He just stabbed a few
Yeah.
to very little effect. I mean, he wasn't a great fighter, Godar.
It
But
works out that acid orbs don't really work on goblins because they move too quickly.
yeah.
So that's the end of the acid orbing.
Yeah, gave up an acid orbing. I found out that rather than hiding on walls and roofs, just amazing people, warhammering people in the face is pretty effective.
You went upstairs and
We found a bloody mess, didn't we?
Yeah.
And then
There was a rustler.
we got so scared of that bed. I mean, we were pussies.
We were a bunch of cautious Nellies.
Yeah, there was a
Because we
rustler under the bed. wasn't there?
there was a noise under the bed, which we knew meant something was there. We didn't think it was a goblin because we think we'd accounted for all the goblins we saw. I think we'd seen 6 goblins and there were 6 corpses. But we were still being really pussies about it.
We knew there was something in there. Well, we kind of guessed there was, yeah.
So I remember Danny climbed up the roof again and climbed in through the window.
He did,
That's
yeah.
it, I was all up on the roof again. So I didn't learn my mistake at all.
Yeah, we SWAT teamed it. We were really careful.
Yeah,
So
getting
you
there.
did the door and the window.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, in the end we just had to flip the bed over.
Well, we kept on shouting, come out. We know there's someone under the bed. They wouldn't come out. So we flipped it over. There was a dude under there who was very happy to see us.
He had some bags with him, didn't
He was
he?
very injured, yeah, he had a couple of rucksacks.
And we said, what are you doing? What did he say?
So you started, well, you just wondered what he was doing. He said he'd come from the village and that he'd been sent by the village elder to go get help, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Something didn't sit right with you, so you went forward and you interrogated him.
We got a bit intense though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was still in battle mode.
And this got a bit dark.
You poked a couple of wounds and stuff.
Yeah, that's gross actually.
I think at the end we had him pinned down and we're like sitting on him.
I can't remember because you failed a couple of your interrogation things.
Yes,
We weren't having that,
Yeah.
so we went violent.
We got really violent with a man who, like, at worst was stealing.
So in the end, you searched his bags and you found a shitload of gold.
Yeah.
I thought we interrogated him after we found the gold.
Did you? Oh,
Yeah, because we were
He was saying he was supposed to be taking the gold.
Yeah,
to go
he was
get
like, I
help.
took the gold to go and buy
And
that.
we were like, where are you going to get this help from? And he was like, I don't know. There's someone nearby. Don't worry about it. I'm off. See you later. We were like, hang on a minute.
But then he even went, you keep the gold, and we were like, we'll keep interrogating him until he tells us why he's got
so
the
we
gold.
got like this whole thing out.
Yeah, and it's like...
So it's just these 2 3.5 foot like little things trying to beat up and interrogate this guy who was a bit bloodied. Yeah.
But in the end, you let him just walk off.
Are we going to mention the arrival of Trackle? Because that's where Trackle turns
Oh yeah.
up.
So then your Dragonborn friend Trackleback was seen walking down the path, and then well, not your friend, sorry, someone.
No, just a stranger,
complete
yeah.
stranger, yeah.
So we made friends with a
Wandering
dragon
warrior.
who was hungover and said he'd been
Yeah.
he'd been drinking out with a dwarf last night and got separated and
Woke up in a bush.
could they chill out with us? And that was our other friend, someone special friend who played with us, a little bit pityingly. And so Trackle was with us for a bit. So then we went
Up the hill.
Yeah, we headed up the hill.
So that's the plan, going up the hill,
Yeah.
and then scoping out the town.
And then we saw a goblin
You saw a group of
patrol, didn't we?
Yeah, you saw a goblin patrol, and you decided to try and track it. And follow it.
Fucking much of this we did.
Yeah, we did a lot. And that was special tracking gameplay.
Made the DM made like a little game where we had to sort of
It was a skill test.
a skill test. Is that part of the actual thing?
Yeah.
Oh, we don't know. Me and Jules are pretty ignorant. We just say what we want. to
We
happen.
just say stuff and then roll when we have to.
Yeah, after we shout to roll the dice, we do it. So we had to like track them. We had to come up with all these cool ways of doing it. So I think I climbed a tree again already.
Yeah, see where they're going. Yeah,
That
so we had
works.
like what 8 turns. We had to pass 6 of them or something.
Yeah. And so we tracked them to a cave.
The cave set back slightly from a down-sloping sort of.
Yeah,
stream-
so it was a nice
stream
little.
river.
Yeah, it was a nice place to set up an ambush.
Yeah. So we set up an ambush.
I mean, I went down by the cave to do my whispering voice again, and Trackle, who's a dragonborn with fire, and Jules went on top. So you was going to do like range attacks down them, and I was going to battle them one-on-one. This was a dreadful plan.
Yeah, well, it didn't work.
Fucking dreadful plan.
So we waited. We heard some shouting by the goblins inside, and
yeah.
it sounded like a bit of a fight.
Yeah, I
And
think
then
we heard someone scream or squeal or something like that.
like it'd been stuck like a pig.
Yeah.
And then we're right when they come out, we'll jump them. We had
Our plan was to throw
oil.
oil on them. So I'm not. Oh god, I got this wrong. So I thought there was like a goblin camp in the back. So I did my throw my voice thing and went, "I'm still alive!" or something like that. And the goblins just looked really confused, not like scared. They were sort of like, "What the fuck?" because we thought they'd been fighting, which it turns out they had not been, had they? He walked into one of them, yeah. So they just turned around and sort of went, "Can I look what the fuck that noise was?" But they didn't stop walking. I was trying to get them in one place,
So you could throw them
but
on.
they were just sort of, they carried on mooching like that. Was fucking weird. So I think you threw the.
We throw the oil, covered them in oil, and
I
then
think you got the three normal ones, and then there was a shaman and a badass one, wasn't there? I mean, they really this really was difficult.
yeah, it's a difficult fight. We set fire to 3 of them. It wasn't as effective as we hoped.
No, they were not bothered about being on fire at all.
So at that point, the shaman turned around. It was kind of a pretty big deal that we didn't realise.
What about you?
And immediately he was like, "Well, I'm going to blind this sorcerer." So he blinded Yenwood.
Which was quite an astute tactical plan.
Except we didn't realise that Yenwood is a blind ninja.
Yenwood doesn't really look when he's casting. Anyway, he just kind of does shit. Sees what happens.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, so Yenwood was blind, and then every roll Yenwood made.
Yeah, so
you failed the saving roll like 6 times.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah, it took a while. So I was missing before he blinded me, and then when he blinded me, I just hit everything. I hit everything.
You were getting rebound shots on the.
Yeah, I was pinging people off other people.
You were blind for the whole fight.
Yeah, no, I didn't even see what was going on. I was still fighting 5 minutes later. No one told me it stopped.
I think I was doing all right. I was doing a bit fine on the bottom. Trackle jumped off with double axes.
No. So you got through the fight. You'd actually got beat up quite a lot.
Yeah,
but you got down to one of the last
yeah, we were going to try and take them as a hostage until our final friend turns up. Igor jumps off with double axes and cleave this person down the middle.
Trackle did jump off.
Yeah, Trackle definitely did a launching attack.
And did like a running, one of the moves Trackle has is a running attack where she just dove and pirouetted for
yeah, everyone just got killed in one moment.
That was particularly effective, actually.
Yeah, particularly effective.
So everywhere down in
Pokemon rather than super effective. Yeah. Charizard in flame. It's particularly effective.
You wanted to interrogate them.
Yeah, Igor didn't allow that.
You've got the buzz for the interrogation thing.
Yeah, we're all about interrogation. It's very much Splinter Cell.
You're slightly forgetting. So yes, you want to interrogate this guy, but you're slightly forgetting one other thing that you did before this all happened.
Oh, did we fire his pants off?
No, so on the route, you said
his cock fall out.
you said go there off to fight the
Oh yeah,
with all the gold.
Oh, this was
with all the gold and all your stuff.
Yeah, this
you
is
said go on its own.
The worst decision. Right. So Godar had everything. I mean, everything that we own.
Yeah, all the good stuff.
Yeah, all the good stuff. Basically.
Yeah.
So
all the gold we got off.
So Igor has come, found his mate Trackle, and they've been reunited. Slightly annoying you because you killed the last person you particularly wanted to keep from interrogation.
Douche.
At this point, you hadn't remembered about Godar, and you just carried on dealing with what was in the cave to go and have a look.
Well, I think we told Godar to come back when he found somewhere to camp.
Oh,
And so we thought
we just trusted him.
Yeah, we trusted him completely. I still trust him.
I don't think he's run off with the money.
I think he's been killed with the money.
I don't think he's been killed with the money. I think he's been captured and will be baptised with the money.
Oh, that would be so exciting.
In the Rubicon Chateau!
Oh, that's going to be so good. So we investigated the cave. We were quite good at cave investigation.
Oh, we're the best.
Because we used the tactics
of... Spelunky we played.
Yeah, we got our
You walked down the pathway and you saw evidently what had been one of the orcs or goblins that had been killed by a trap.
Yeah.
So there are traps in this cave.
So we use our tactics of goblin bodies.
Yeah.
So we got
tactic.
Yeah, exactly. If you played the game Spelunky, you know that throwing things down in front of you is smart.
Yeah. The damsel of distress dies, use her body as a shield.
Yeah. And so we threw a few goblins in and set up all the traps.
Yeah.
And then we got to...
You got to a brick wall.
Yeah, with a bit of writing on it in the language we didn't understand.
And I didn't get it.
A crack. Oh no, there was a tiny hairline crack that I think we all just smashed at until it broke.
Yeah, we felt like there was some clever thing to do to open it.
I mean, you did. In the end, you did you had a freeze ray or something.
Oh yeah, no, but I think there was some sort. I think we should have done it. There's probably a way of getting through there without just smashing through the wall like barbarians.
Maybe
But
not.
who cares? We smashed through the wall like fucking barbarians.
Yeah, no, I froze the hairline crack,
Yeah.
expanded it.
Yeah, we threw water all over it. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
clever. We were smart at that.
Yeah.
We're so much smarter than some other Dungeons and Dragons podcast players.
The crack that you made was I think it's like bottom right hand corner or something. And then you went down there, didn't you? And then you were in a pitch black room.
Well, it was quite, wasn't it a difficult squeeze to get through?
Well, at this point, Trackle just sort of went, you guys go fuck yourselves.
Suffering from a social anxiety attack.
Yeah, just sort of went, this is too much for me.
Role play.
And Trackle just went. I was like, nah, fuck you guys. Igor decided to stay with us.
Yeah, so.
I think Trackle was more interested in the money.
Yeah.
And
Trackle
went to
was
track
after
down
the money, and so
Godar.
we said go off and find Godar because Trackle was a ranger
Yeah.
and tracker by nature, so that was
Trackle by name,
Yeah.
Tracker by nature. Which doesn't
Trogdor by spirit. Yeah, and also it's the cave was a bit of a tight squeeze,
Yeah.
and Trackle was the only member of the party above 4 foot tall, and was in fact about 6 foot.
So
tall.
we made a bit of a mistake in the cave, I think.
How tall was Eagle?
4'4".
4'4".
We found a tomb, like a
Yeah.
Sarcophagus.
yeah, they're lovely. A sarcophagus with sort of a heavy lid on it.
And a mummy inside.
Oh no! And then
Well, there's any mummy, my mummy.
and then it turned into the film The Mummy Returns.
Oh no! I thought you was Scorpion King.
Maybe The Mummy Returns.
So in the
Yeah, I think it has.
Yeah, I think
King in it.
yeah, it's one with the Scorpion King in it. As long as it's not the third one.
Oh,
Jet Li in it.
Fat Lee.
Is it Fat Lee? Oh no. So there were 4 statues at the back of the room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's it. So
We thought they might do something, and we could see there was like a little hole in the ceiling where we thought, oh, there's probably going to be like a grate or something that falls down there.
And it smelled like magic.
Yes.
We smelt magic.
Yeah.
Around the grave, not the statues. I don't think they weren't magic.
No, it's regular statue.
Yeah. So as you came in, you realised that behind you there was sort of what looked like a fence grate to sort of block off the entire.
Like a portcullis, wasn't it?
Yeah, like a portcullis kind of thing.
So we pushed the statues over
Yeah.
and put them where the portcullis would fall, hoping that if we did fuck this up, this almost got really bad.
Yeah.
That if we dropped the gate, then it would land on the statues and we could still squeeze out.
You still get the hole was quite low down.
Yeah, the hole was like, so we thought we could still squeeze out.
You put them horizontally as well, so you thought they'd be more structurally.
Yeah, we laid them down. It was a sensible plan. That probably saved our lives.
Yeah.
Because then we fucked up.
We.
Well, you got no.
I'm
The
glad
thing
you
with this
got-
was that you knew there was a trap in the tomb because you searched it out and you found it. And then I made it a multi-stage trap, so there's different things you had to do to bypass it, and you got all the way to the end and then fucked up the last bit. So you were
Yeah, me and Igor have to take the credit for the fuck up.
yeah. So you were
I
stuck.
think I lifted my half. I think Igor
Yeah,
dropped it.
Igor did.
No, because remember you were stuck there with your knife in there, and you knew if you
Oh,
took the knife.
that was a knife, yeah,
Oh,
that-
yeah.
You knew that if you took the knife out, you were going to set up the trap. You really wanted to get in the tomb.
Of course you can have a tomb with magic in it.
Yeah.
So instead of leaving it, you pulled it out. And
We
Oh,
tried
no.
one more. No, we tried one more time to lift it. Igor botched completely and dropped the
Oh,
entire
yeah.
lid,
Yeah.
shaking everything,
Yeah.
and just like the after Igor dropped the lid, it set the trap off, which turns out dropped the portcullis, which luckily did hit the statues and leave us a gap, but it did start flooding the room in a sort of terrifying. This filling with water. So me and Igor twice more fucked up taking the lid off.
Yeah.
Then eventually we got the lid slid slightly off.
Yeah,
And we just grabbed a handful of shit each, which mainly was bones, if I remember
Yeah.
correctly.
Just mulch and bone.
Yeah. We got out. I don't think. Did we get anything decent at that point? I think
We did. Yeah. So
a couple of things.
because the lid was only partially on, wasn't it?
Yeah,
so
we
you just
got-
put your arm in trying to
Yeah.
grab stuff.
But we didn't get what we wanted. There was,
Well, we didn't know what we wanted.
Yeah, but we
We
thought.
didn't even know why we were there.
No, but we didn't get anything super duper. We were like,
Yeah. Yeah, it's like this is definitely too much effort to
'Cause
just get like
when we
pants
found
of wandering.
when we found the goblins, they had a map to this place.
Yeah.
That was it. And we were like, oh, they think this place is important, so why the fuck are they here? They didn't just want, the socks of wonderment. The Socks of Wonderment were pretty cool. I mean, I can't even remember what we got from that. Do you remember, Adam, have you got it written down?
I think you got a piece of armour. I think you got one.
Yeah, there was definitely some armour. I think
Yeah.
You got an armour piece with a necklace or something. Yeah, you got a necklace and armour piece.
I mean, is someone wearing the armour piece? Yeah. Igor's wearing the armour piece.
Yeah. So you left the tomb then, and you only managed. The room flooded, and you were actually underwater trying to lift the lid before you ran out of air, and then you got back out.
We swam out just about.
And then you went outside and camped outside for a bit.
I camp everywhere.
And then you went up to go back and do what you.
Yeah, at this point we realised the fuck up with Godar, because we were like, oh, Godar should really be back by now.
Yeah.
We thought we just sent away Godar with all our money. We thought Godar would be back, and the fact that Trackle had gone as well, we were now upset.
Yeah.
There's only 3 of us now.
It's an age before mobile phones.
So
and
Igor,
you realise how reliant you are on them.
yeah, Igor had been played by one of our friends, but that person disappeared. So Igor is now sort of like our NPC.
Yeah.
It's sort of like a super NPC until Igor decides they have to go as well. So the main crew is still Ludwig and Yenwood.
So you went up to the top of the hill, which you've been
Well,
trying to go to start with.
Yeah, I saw a tree.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you do when you see trees?
Well,
It's sort of like a giant redwood tree, big, tall.
Yeah, it's really
really big
nice.
tree. So really safely, without any ropes, I just had to climb to the top of that tree.
I think you did quite good rolls. I think we
Bypassed the danger that was that tree.
Yeah, but not only that, but I think we didn't realise how difficult it should be climbing
Yeah.
that tree.
I just rolled it like, oh, this is just climbing a tree, and Abby told me later that Miss Roll would have killed me a couple of times because I was 150 feet in the air.
I did later to the point when we were talking about how high you were. Straight over there.
You
Well,
can hear it
I'm
on
only
the tree.
3'6", and everything goes straight over my head. Now, it was while I was up the tree that we suddenly... Yenwood spotted something moving in the tree below me.
And Yenwood didn't want to worry old Ludwig because Ludwig was 150 feet up in the air in a tree. So Yenwood just shouted up, "Don't panic, but I think there's something in the tree with you. Let me just shoot at it."
You managed to absolutely fuck it up,
Yeah.
me, with a massive ice bolt.
Yeah, I think I blasted some of its legs off with
Yeah,
ice.
which was really
Freeze
useful.
bolt.
But there was 2 of them in the end, because one of them jumped you when you went down to fight the...
Well, I then finished the one off in the tree. I think I jumped onto the branch with it, hit it with a hammer.
Yeah, you
Which
picked it to
actually-
the tree with the hammer.
Which is actually fucking badass, but
Yeah.
once again, I don't think I realised how dangerous it was that I was leaping around a tree at 150 feet in the air, fighting a this was a giant spider. I don't think we actually... Did we say the term giant spider?
Yeah, so it turns out it was a giant spider.
Yeah.
I can't remember what's your athletics. Is it?
It's an 8.
Yeah.
It's quite good.
Which is good,
Yeah.
but it's not, I should be
I think-
risking this up in a
I
tree.
think that was why you climbed the tree. I think yours was one of the
Yeah,
highest.
Yeah.
definitely most
I mean,
athletic.
yeah, Eagles is 10. So Eagles is definitely high.
That's not mine then.
So I think I climbed the tree because that's what Ludwig does. Ludwig climbs trees.
So you went down and...
Yeah, so you were fighting the other spider, which was a bit more of a badass spider.
Yeah, it was a daddy spider. The one, there was another spider that joined me down, was trying to protect its girlfriend.
Which I had smashed into a tree.
Yeah, and pinned to the tree with your warhammer. So I stun that one or confuse it or something?
You managed to roll up to its back at one point, because that's when I decided to launch. I decided that once I was far enough down the tree, I would launch a flying warhammer attack.
Yeah, just finish that. Just put an exclamation mark.
Yeah.
Finish it off.
Not so much an exclamation mark, rolled a box and just fell out the tree again.
Miss! I bet you really hurt your shins when you landed.
I think if I remember Abu's like a little bit of flavour text, he just made me land next to you rather than spider. Like I jumped so badly out the tree, I didn't even land near my opponent, I landed near you. I was like, oh, then just plumped into the ground.
But luckily the spider was on its back from my spell casting,
Yeah.
so he's finished it off.
I think you said, wait, you just...
Yeah.
I didn't remember what you did.
Well, because we play video games,
Yeah.
so using video game logic, we fought some pretty badass bosses.
Yeah.
We wanted loot, and there wasn't any loot, apparent loot, and you always know, well, the loot always pops out of the bad guy.
It's just
So it just clearly hasn't popped out yet.
So if you cut the spider boss open, he'll be full of swords.
Yeah. When we cut them open, there weren't any swords in there.
Just full of spiders.
Oh, got smelly.
We did manage to pull out one of his teeth, and we had some vials of. We'd found health potion back at the house, and we drunk it during the battle of cave.
Yeah, the cave.
And so we filled that with spider poison, which actually long term worked out very well. But then we ventured back into the forest briefly. I found some more trees with spider web and just ran away. Oh no, fuck this shit. Because I think we heard something, did we? Or we're like,
you heard some wolves, and you
there was some reason. No, the wolves came.
Well, I was saying, I bet there's more spider stuff around here, and these spiders didn't have loot, so the other spiders must have loot. And then immediately we found like spider webs all over some trees because we were looking around the area, and then it's completely 180.
Yeah, we went. Actually,
my cowardice kicked in.
And there was a moment where we went, "What are the chances of us finding a spider full of gold?"
Yeah.
I thought so much at that point we were going to see like a web and see Godar's face that sticks out of like
I think that was it. I think I assumed the spiders got Godar. That's why I was.
We don't think they did. We have no idea because we pussied out to such a degree. We just ran away.
Yeah, we did.
So Abby was ready for this big spider battle and we didn't.
When the going gets tough, we run away.
Oh, so Godar's fate is not yet sealed. It'll be rolled up later.
He's the cat in a box. Was it cat in a box? Rat in a box?
No, cat. Schrodinger's cat. Cat in a box is a lot worse than dick in a box.
It's my cat in a box.
Just scratching your face.
Yeah.
Especially if you combine cat in a box and dick in a box.
Oh.
That's just you getting a bite on the dick.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So that was day one.
No, we slept with. We'd already slept. We slept at the cave.
Yeah, but that was the.
So then I think. What did we do? Did we find it? Oh god, this was a house I fucked up next.
Yeah, so our plan was we looked around, we could see the village, we could see it, there was still definitely orcs and goblins in there, still hostile territory. So we'll go to the village, we'll try and get there and...
There were farmhouses on the way, weren't there?
Yeah, so more farmhouses on the way between the forest and the village, and we came across one farmhouse. We were being quite stealthy, checking out what happened to this one farmhouse.
I climbed up the side.
Yeah, so...
As is traditional, Ludwig decides to climb up, and I looked through the window, and I saw a room full of sleeping goblins.
Full to the brim.
Yeah, six goblins were sleeping in there.
Yeah.
Which was a hell of a fight for us.
And then, so what our plan was to kill them all while they sleep?
Yeah, we were going
in a heroic way?
Yeah, heroically murdering goblins. So I rolled to open the latch of the window. So I think we're going to throw something on them and try and burn the house down with them. I think we're going to block them.
I was going to teabag them.
Yeah, you were definitely, you were balls out.
I was warming the testicles.
Yeah, warming them. You should cool them. Horrible cold testicles on the face.
I don't want to wake them up.
Oh yeah, good point. You're always right, and when you're right, you're right. But unfortunately, I failed the roll on opening the window, smashed the window, knocked a pane of glass into the house, woke up all the goblins.
I like to think on one of the goblins' heads.
Yeah, I like to think so. And then he had little birds flying around his head.
And then he originally scarfed.
We all just ran away again.
Yeah,
this was us being through our very much being pussied about it phase.
So that was the second fight we ran away from.
In a row. So I think we'd had our asses kicked so much at the cave, we were like, oh, I'm not sure we can take anyone on now. So we decided just to fuck it off and go straight to the village.
Yeah.
And we could see there was like a village hall in the middle. Well, we knew for some reason, I think from a distance we'd seen that there was some sort of like barricaded building in the middle.
Yeah, a big old building.
Yeah, so we decided to try and sneak through to that, were we?
Yeah, you stealthed through it.
We at the edge of the village, we saw a pretty big orc with some fellow goblins, and we kind of followed, using our streetwise, we followed that orc, like hiding kind of in alleyways, and then he kind of disappeared off, and then we managed to get to the outer perimeter of the town hall. And when we looked over the little wall, we saw there was a lot of dead bodies of arrows, and clearly a lot of fighting between goblins and humans.
Yeah.
And then I kind of had an inkling that if we try and go to the town hall, they might try and kill us.
I think we stuck our heads over the wall.
Yeah,
which is difficult.
You had a difficult situation here because you need to get their attention, but then you also need to stay stealth from the walls.
I used my voice, I think, and spoke to them the thing and went, we're out here, and they basically went, fuck off, you goblins.
Ludwig with the throw of the voice could communicate with them without the goblins not hearing. So that was stealthy. But when they replied with, "We're not falling for that one again," and they shot arrows at us, that wasn't so stealthy.
No, they really didn't help us in that situation.
They were hindering us in a big way.
Yeah. So we then had like another skill check to see if we could convince them that we were good guys.
Yeah.
So we had to come up with different ways to show that we were
so
fighters worth having in there. So
And on their side.
Yeah, and on their side. So it involved us like standing on the wall and doing like shows of strength.
And just convincing them with
Yeah,
history knowledge.
Yeah,
that
I got
we-
good religion knowledge, so I was like telling about the religious reasons they should let us in.
But meanwhile, the orc and the goblins knew we were there, so they were coming down on us pretty hard.
Yeah.
So it got to the point
It got
where,
pretty ridiculous.
yeah, where two of us would be fighting while the other one would be negotiating with the town hall, and that's when we realised how hard orcs were.
Yeah.
And part of the problem was that the other people couldn't see you because the wall was all under 4 foot
Yeah,
high.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So
It also meant they didn't shoot us with arrows. Which
Yeah.
was really good.
So they were hitting you all.
Did we kill the orc in the end?
well, what happened? I
Ah,
pulled
no,
out some of my big guns, like my lightning strike.
Oh, yeah.
Which just is a beaming light from the heavens I can call down. And we dipped on the orc, but he wasn't stopping.
No.
And he got up to Igor and smashed his face in with a mace.
Yeah.
To the point where Igor had about 2 hits left.
Yeah.
Less than that.
Wasn't
yeah.
it the thing that killed the orc in the end? A single arrow from inside the...
No. So what happened was it got to the point where we had 1 skill check left,
Yeah.
and we were so beat up and so surrounded by goblins and orcs that we were and the town hall archers were so bad at shooting. We decided we'd be better off running
That was it,
than staying and fighting. So we ran, and we're halfway in the no man's
Yeah.
land. And that's when the orc followed. The orc was pretty dead.
yeah.
I was pretty dead. Igor's face was hanging off them.
I managed to somehow do some recovery. I don't know what... I disappeared and got round the other side,
Yeah,
I think,
possibly,
again.
yeah.
I often just disappeared into
But you were getting shot by the goblin archers. weren't
Yeah,
you?
I was shocked. I was as bad. I was nowhere in the situation.
Well,
that
yeah,
Igor was.
Igor was close to passing. And then it got to the point where the orc got up to me and stabbed me. I shot him with something. And then the goblin archers blind fired.
Yeah,
So we got to
that
get
was
these guys, and they blind fired and actually hit the orc and killed him.
Yeah.
And that was it because
Oh, and it was he got hit, and in this dying kind of
Yeah.
fall, he stabbed me. And that hurt me.
Yeah. That was so fucking badass. Yeah, so
Yeah,
he
we
got killed
got
by his
really
own
hurt.
troops. Yeah, and so we rushed up the steps into this sort of like town hall, safe house. Yeah, bust through the door, and we were all fucked.
Yeah.
So we.
You lay on the floor for a bit, but you were surrounded by guards from the inside.
Ludwig didn't lie on the floor. Ludwig immediately started questioning everyone about everything in a very awkward manner, because that's how Ludwig does her fucking business. Ludwig started questioning everyone's intentions, whether we're going to go out and fight. Ludwig's policy is basically, if in doubt, go and fight them because it's right to
With
go
a very
and fight them.
stoic, unfeeling face.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and show no emotion. Well, not show no emotion. She feels no emotion. She just thinks that it's right. Goblins are the bad guys. You go and kill goblins. She didn't understand why everyone was hiding. Why not just go out there and fight them?
God, we did so much D&D.
I know, it's ridiculous. Right, so we went slightly wrong at this was.
No. So you went in and you spoke to the sort of leader who's.
Yeah, she was basically like
Yeah.
Hathorn and Hathaway.
Yeah.
We spoke to Anne Hathaway, and she was like, "Nah, we're not helping you really." Like,
Well, she gave an update. The situation
Yeah.
was that
she told us information, but she was like, "No, we're not sending a troop out with you." Because
Yeah.
that's basically we were thinking, "Yay, us and an army, we're going to
Yeah.
go and take these things." But
times were hard. It was mainly women and children. They're running out of
they
supplies.
had a few archers.
They had a few archers, and a few fighters.
mage.
Yeah, they had a badass mage.
She's called Fant.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
Thank you.
she told you about the fact that the orcs and goblins had been obviously searching for something, looking around.
oh, we forgot to when we killed the orc. Don't forget. His trousers and pants fell down,
yeah.
and his cock fell out.
I blasted his pants right off him.
Yeah, I mean that we.
I think at one point though, when he attacked
That
me,
was
my
the
dick
big
fell out.
orc, that was a different one.
Oh, that was a different orc, right? A lot of our game involved was dicks falling out.
So
Well, that's how you know you've hurt them, is when you got their clothes off.
Yeah,
you were talking to Hathenor and
Anne Hathaway.
Anne Hathaway. You were talking to Anne Hathaway, and she wasn't being so receptive, so Ludwig smashed his hammer on the floor. Before he had time to heal, a piece of a shot fell and hit Yenwood.
That's painful.
Yeah.
So, like, even more, took you even closer to being felled.
Ludwig felt nothing about that. Ludwig was not bothered. Ludwig was just going to do a show of strength to show how important she was.
She learned that the orcs had been stealing bodies and, where they could, capturing,
Kidnapping,
Yeah, taking everyone up to this chateau.
Yeah.
The Chateau Rubicon, you might want to call it.
And I feel like we learn that the tomb that we had been raiding
was a local mad magician.
But
He was the old lord of the whole area.
Who lived
But I
in the
thought
chateau?
he drunk a load of
He had.
potions.
He had.
Was he the owner of the chateau?
Yeah, he was the original owner and
Yeah.
lord of the whole area.
So, and we're told that he was obsessed with like shortcuts and passages, weren't we? Because they were like,
hidden passages.
yeah, he'll have hidden passages.
Arcane, weird, magic.
Yeah, so you
Getting
know,
weirder and
The
weirder.
sorcerer that you talked to, Frank, he was a little bit odd. He basically
I liked him.
he did. Yeah, he was actually looking for magical items, that sort of stuff.
He
was looking for teeth, particularly teeth
Yeah.
for some of his recipes.
When we walked up to him, because we got told we should talk to him as well, being a sorcerer and quite knowledgeable, I had a check to see if I could recognise what kind of sorcerer he was, because he's a special kind, I think. But I rolled particularly low, and it turns out Yenwood really wasn't paying attention in sorcery class. I couldn't work out what. I can't really remember what this guy is. But he's kind of. We've learned he's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
Sorcerer.
And he's probably a little bit of an evil sorcerer.
Yeah, he's probably not the nicest one.
But he sent you on a little. He gave you a little sub quest. He said, "Right, if you can find me teeth of these of any magic users,
Yeah.
particularly the orcs and stuff, and there's particularly one badass Shaman orc that you've seen briefly."
Oh yeah.
Well,
I don't think we're going to get into
take
that.
that. And you tried to haggle for some spells. And
We
stuff.
we gave him the spider's teeth, the spider's poison, and he was like, "The fuck are you carrying this around?"
So
You gave him some tea as well. Oh no, that was later when you gave him tea.
Well,
Yeah,
you-
let's speak for some tea.
You managed to.
He basically convinced us of going back to the tomb.
Well,
No. So what happened was that first of all, in what is become a theme, we tried to convince him to join us, which he wasn't having any of them. He is so above us. He was like, no, he needs to stay there and defend the city. And we're at the city hall. We were like, well, if you come with us, we'll kill all these guys. You don't need to be here to defend it. And he was like, no, you're scum to me. But he, like I said, he would write spells for us because we gave him stuff.
He
Not
basically
spells.
made us into tooth fairies.
He kind of did, yeah. It's a great movie.
I let them rock.
Yeah. And we saw there's a spell where we could breathe underwater, and we went, hang on a minute, I know a tomb that's underwater.
Yeah.
Here we go again.
And by this point, we knew that that was the tomb of the guy who owned the chateau we were going to. So we did a bit of video game logic and went, we're probably going to need some shit from there. Like, if there's secret passages, we're going to need some sort of secret passage finder.
Yeah.
I bet he's got magic pants in his tomb that we've missed.
Yeah. So we got our spell of breathing underwater.
I think they were rituals, not spells.
You're right. They were.
Yeah, so it
they were
was-
rituals. Yeah.
So rituals, would that make him a priest rather than a sorcerer?
In any cases,
We have no idea what the fuck he is. He's just scary.
So rather uneventfully, we went back all the way to the.
Oh no! So first of all, you went and you were fucked, so you went for a rest. On the
Oh yeah,
How this battle.
You went for a rest, and you decided to sleep on the gun
Yeah, we didn't want to
observation
sleep
level.
downstairs with the riffraff, and we didn't want to sleep on the roof, which you really wanted us to do.
Yeah, you were obsessed with sleeping on a roof.
Why do you sleep on the roof? It's not like we're in a dangerous war zone.
I can just imagine like something picking us up and flying up with us. Yeah, helicopter comes and steals us. I just imagine like a griffin picking us up and taking us to the castle. Like, no.
We were quite angry.
Oh, we almost fucked this up for ourselves with our sleep.
Yeah, so we needed to sleep and rest and heal up, but we were quite annoyed because they wouldn't let us in. I was quite annoyed with Ludwig because even though I was almost dead, she decided to start warhammering everything and almost killed me.
That's Ludwig's policy.
So normally Edward's quite a nice guy, but he was quite his fuse was quite short at that point. And we went up, and the archers were making lots of noise. And so I intimidated them and shouted at them and told them to be quiet. So they didn't really communicate with each other or shoot many arrows. And it turned out we had a really nice sleep.
Yeah, relaxing.
Yeah, it was good for a while.
until it turns out that we wish the archers had been making a bit more noise when the goblin attack happened.
Yeah, when the stealth ninja goblin attack.
Yeah, there was stealth ninja goblins.
Yeah.
They climbed up the side.
That was a pretty cool fight. I kind of, unfortunately,
Well, you
the
had
details were quite cool. I feel like we probably can't remember them. So
I-
you all ran downstairs, you ran out and fought in the main...
Yeah,
Right.
we were fine. So there was a goblin at a window grabbing someone trying to pull them out. I remember
Yeah.
I smashed them out the window, which was
I think he pulled them right out
yeah.
and took them out of the
there
room.
was a lot of grabbing.
No, I
from
saved
that
one
window.
because
Yeah,
that
yeah.
first one I saved, and because he then entered the battle again. I think he got shot through the hand later.
Yeah.
Like he was basically just flailing around the battlefield. Like,
So it was a cool
there were
battle.
two archers in there who were really helping us, even though they were doing
Yeah.
shit attacks.
And I think did you Warhammer one out? I think
I
there was one
did.
hanging on the
No,
side of the
hanging on
window.
the side. You had the sort of thing where he'd move his hand and you'd hit it with the
Yeah.
hammer.
Yeah.
But I knocked two out the windows, and then
Yeah.
we did capture one to interrogate this time.
Yeah.
We killed them all. That was a cool battle.
It was really cool.
pretty late at night. We were doing that one.
Yeah.
Or really early in the morning. I don't know. It's just confusing. Igor was killing them downstairs. We'd got one that we'd knocked out, and so
Yeah.
we tied up, and so we decided to interrogate him.
Didn't get much from him, did he?
No.
Just a stupid goblin.
Well, yeah, he didn't know much. So.
No, he's pretty stupid. We got something about like.
Did you kill him? I think you killed him, didn't you?
Yeah, I smashed his head with a warhammer. Goblins are bad. Ludwig kills goblins. Ludwig is good, so
That's
she
a
kills bad people.
sledgehammer to a melon moment.
Yeah.
Sledgehammer to a man.
You went downstairs, and by that time, you'd actually asked I can't remember if it was Hathorn or Fan, to make Igor a mask. So he's now got a mask to hide the horribly
Well,
displayed.
it's got it's got slight healing.
Salve, yeah, it's got salve underneath.
But not to make the face better, more to stop it from going grossly infected.
Yeah.
I imagine. That face ain't getting better.
No, Igor is now a disfigured motherfucker.
I don't know if
Does
he's
he
open
look
to
like
it, is
Phantom of the Opera?
he? A little bit. Phantom of
I'll
the
be
Short
honest,
Opera.
the flavour to this. I don't think we decided on the flavour of the mask.
Yeah, I think it is kind of Phantom of the
Yeah,
Opera.
I think it's half his face off, so I
Yeah.
think he's going to look like Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah, I think so.
He's going to look pretty weird because he's sort of like a hardy goblin. Gnome.
So that was
Dwarf.
Oi, oi, oi!
I mean, I get it wrong so many times. So then,
you made your way back because it's quite far. That actually took another half a day to get back there.
yeah, so we ran all the way, basically stealth through the village again,
Yeah.
got back to the tomb with very little trouble this time. We heard some wolves.
Yeah, ran away from them.
Man just ran away. We didn't
Scary wolves!
Yeah, we're like, I can't fight wolves.
We shouted Gondor a bit.
Yeah, we had a little bit like, we shouted Godar, but didn't help. Got back to the cave without very much trouble, which was nice.
Yeah.
Then, as we went in the cave, we...
I performed the ritual outside the tomb.
Yeah.
I did pretty good on that ritual. Pulled
Yeah.
out my sorcery
We
knowledge.
still almost died somehow.
Well, yeah. So you guys, I bought you quite a lot of time because the ritual went quite
Yeah.
well. But I believe it was Igor's fault, which I kind of blame on Izzy, even though Izzy wasn't there.
Yeah.
But especially because she fucked up the first
Yeah.
trap, which got us into this mess. But yeah, you guys weren't doing very good at moving the
The
two.
same thing, we're running out of time in the air. We also, we had to lay a
You lay a
rope to get ourselves in and out.
Yeah,
didn't we?
yeah. So I could pull out you.
And I think
out.
I did a search at the top of the water. We did
Because
a
it was
search-
dark. There was no lights.
Yeah, it was pitch black. So I think I swam to the surface and searched for anything that floated on the top and found some.
But regardless, we managed to get the tomb lid off
Yeah.
at last.
And we stole everything.
We-
Yes. All the bones and
Yeah, we
everything.
got everything.
I mean, we were badass motherfuckers. We just and
We're bad. We moved the shit out of that grave.
that's what badasses do. I mean, you might think badasses like fight with guns and stuff. I
Well-
think badasses steal skulls.
Now we're badasses because we got a dog on call.
Oh yeah. Well,
So yeah, so
we
there's
found a
like-
load of shit we didn't really know what it
You
was.
found body parts. You found a key.
Oh
You
yeah, the
got
key.
A couple of other little tiny bits of. I think you got a sword or an axe or something.
I got a lucky charm.
No, you got that the first time.
Oh, did I?
But you also found a.
I got a gambler's dagger, which makes
Oh,
my
that's
attacks twice as risky.
Yes. But you also found an onyx dog.
Yep.
Was it
A little
onyx dog or
statue of an onyx.
mastiff?
Yeah.
An onyx mastiff.
That's it.
Which we didn't know what it did, so I ate it straight away. So ate that onyx dog.
Chewed it all
Now
up.
I've got the power of an onyx mastiff.
Which because just remind me, so it's a bit you can conjure once a day.
Well, we didn't find this out yet.
We didn't know at first. The other thing we did on the way out, because the Fane was looking for teeth, we looted all the bodies
All
of
the
the
bones.
orcs.
Oh yeah.
No, all the bodies are gone. Yeah,
Had
but
they?
they took them back. We think they took them back to the thing. We didn't have any teeth. Yeah, we
Oh,
looked at it. I remember them doing that. We were like, oh fuck, they must have taken the bodies for the baptism of the Rubicon.
Shadow.
Yeah, I can no longer think of Rubicon apart from anything but that fizzy drink.
I assume that's where they make
And
it.
so he's got Rubicon, but he's also got someone called Fanta.
Oh,
wow.
Is this sponsored by
Yeah,
some drinks
soft drinks,
company?
yeah. Schweppes.
See, Rubicon, I was thinking Julius Caesar is it crossing the Rubicon?
I mean, there's a lot more highbrow than my mango flavoured fruit drink.
But what's more refreshing?
Yeah, well, I've never drunk the water to the Rubicon. Maybe that river is just full of Rubicon the drink.
I think there's some steel drums going on around there.
So you streetwise. Streetwise.
You made your way again quite uneventfully actually back to the safe house.
Yeah, I think we
You
just
did
ran
a little
away.
bit of
It's because we didn't let Ludwig climb any buildings.
No, yeah.
Well, until we got back to the town. So we got stuff. We went across a road. That was our first big stealth check. Remember?
Well, so we saw a really big group of goblins and orcs, and we were like, go to stealth mode. They seem to have walked into the town, and we wanted to follow them. And so, because Ludwig's kind of the stealthiest. Well,
yeah, slightly.
yeah, kind of. We're all quite stealthy because we're all quite small, but Ludwig's kind of the stealthiest. So we said, you go and stealth it. You failed a stealth check, which amounted to Ludwig standing in the road shouting, I think they're gone!
Yeah, Ludwig is not good in social situations. She gets confused. She doesn't understand that you shouldn't shout.
But the good news was, this group of goblins completely disappeared, so I'm like, right,
So
okay,
we
this is
assumed,
fine.
yeah, success.
Yeah. Botched that, but it's fine.
Yeah.
Now we come back to haunt us.
We had not really thought this through, so we snuck to the town.
You can't
no,
have
you got into the town and then you had another skill test to run away from them.
Well, no,
No.
I tried to climb a building to have a look to get.
Yeah, why were we doing that? Just to look around?
Yeah, we like to get because I think we're short. We get obsessed with getting like a vantage point, and so I climbed on this roof. And as I did that, Abby was like, "Oh, you know those goblins who you thought you stealth checked? Well, they've just been following
Yeah,
you."
they basically surround
Yeah, they've been
in all
following
these
you.
alleyways.
And so then everyone climbed up the roof,
Yeah.
and we started. Abu did like this huge 12-point skill check,
Yeah,
which is
it's a long one.
incredible.
Yeah, it was
It
amazing.
turned into this
Us running away.
I was running away, which was an incredible
You were,
chase.
like roof jumping and
Well,
Yeah.
it started on the alleyways, and there was some really cool stuff with like throw over carts. There was,
Yeah,
I did some cool stuff that failed all of them, and there was one where I what's it called? I bluffed them. I was like, okay guys, let's turn left, and then we turned right. That's a good one.
Good luck.
There's another one where I did my burglary one where I.
Streetwise.
There's one where because I got a thieving stand.
Oh, yeah.
And I lockpicked inside a house.
Yeah.
Which also didn't work. So I had loads of good ones that didn't work. You had those ones which did work.
Yeah, mine were one of mine was just running really fast.
Yeah, I just run fast. And then we climbed to the building. So we went all this really cool chasing. Then we went on the building. We were going across the roofs because
Yeah.
the closer to the town hall we got, the denser the buildings were.
Yeah.
that was it.
And then we just about got a.
We made the we had like a 50-50. Like if we didn't make this last one, we basically
got caught.
failed.
Yeah, it was
I
quite
can't remember what we did for that last one. It's a shame. I think
I think we jumped and everything went in slow motion.
Yeah, and sorry, there's an explosion
Yeah.
behind us.
And I shouted, "Here we go again!"
I went, I'm too old for this shit. And I turned from being a female gnome into an old black man, which is the most common change. We call it the menopause.
And so Nancy, you managed to get in, and as you turned around, you saw the orc Shane standing on the building, looking down.
Oh yeah, he looked pissed off at us.
Baring his teeth. We want those teeth.
Yeah.
But we're not going to fight you for them because we are scared of you.
Yeah. At some point, we might be able to poison you and
Yeah.
pull them out while you're sleeping,
Yeah.
like a dentist.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
that.
Trogdor was here.
Just before you went to sleep when you were in the safe house the first time, that was when you leveled up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So you're now level 2, aren't you?
Yeah, we're level 2 now.
So then you
We got Jabari. We got. I think you need to make sure your head audible. You should wear like a little bell on your chin. As you turn your head it rings. So the people listening can go, oh, that guy does not like what they're doing. He thinks they're idiots.
So
you got in, and the bones that you'd stolen from the tomb, the guy had died because he'd OD'd on magic potions.
Yeah.
Because he'd gone a bit mental.
So I remember. I remember this. Not to derail you, because we're walking into it. We were like, we can give these bones to Fane the sorcerer because he likes teeth for magic teeth
Yeah.
for magic bones.
He'll identify all our stuff.
He'll identify all that stuff. But I remember thinking, I'm a bit concerned because this guy was, although he went off the rails, but he was fairly well respected lord of this area. And Fane might realise he's a smart guy. Might realise we basically raided his tomb and stole his bones.
We didn't tell him that's what we were up to.
So I tried to bluff him. Was like, we just found these. The orcs had them. We just found them, and then he was like, well, so you took them and just brought them with you? I was like, yeah. And I think he kind of suspected.
Where did he think we were the last day? Like, what did we tell him? Are you going to go attack that chateau? Yeah, later. Where are you going now? Just go now.
You've got some underwater stuff to be doing, mate.
What's underwater that you need? I don't know, but expect us to come back with arms full of bones.
I think he kind of suspected but didn't care.
Yeah,
It turns out he is not a good man.
he washed over it.
Yeah.
But you swapped them for a
Other
couple of
spells,
rituals, which
Yeah.
was detect secret doors and comprehend magic.
And we also had to learn a language
Yeah.
because I was trying to learn Goblin.
Is that,
That might have been the first time.
was
No.
maybe I've written, maybe it was comprehend language, not magic.
Yeah, no,
Comprehend
it's not language, yeah.
language. Sorry.
Yeah.
And I had to hear a certain amount of Goblin before I could start recognising it.
Yeah, so
I've heard a little bit already.
So then you restocked and
I know the swear words, which is always the first
Yeah.
thing you learn in the new language. You don't go with the swear words first, because that makes it small.
I'm swearing Slovakian.
Yeah.
Hello. Buzarant. Buzarant.
Shakira!
That means that your breasts are smaller than humble. That's
So you don't confuse them with mountains.
That's how you insult a woman in Slovakia. You shout Shakira, Shakira at her.
Shake your bell.
Shake your bells. You're shaking his bell ends.
Oh, you guys can see what I can see right now.
so you quite successfully stealthed up towards the chateau at this point. You
Yeah, we
decided
decided to fuck off the safe house and we'll go and get on our adventure a bit.
On the way up, you saw a cart with the shaman on, an empty cart with a couple of orcs going back down towards the town, but you avoided that.
Yeah,
We're so scared of him.
Yeah, he's so scary.
You scouted out the chateau.
I mean, we couldn't kill a shaman goblin very easily.
Yeah.
The shaman orc is going to kill.
So, we got to the chateau.
You
the room of the
scouted
chateau.
it out a bit. You decided that you didn't want to try and sneak.
I think I
in through the
climbed
front
another
and stuff.
tree
Yeah, you definitely
Yeah,
did.
you did.
without any ropes or anything.
It's when we compress it down, you only realise how much you climb stuff. Oh, you know what we forgot though? So, to lead us from the town hall to the chateau in the quickest and safest route possible, they gave us a guide with a 14-year-old human, and he guided us through, and I was like, well, I feel like we want some more people in our party because there's only 3 of
Yeah.
us. So I tried to convince him to join us, and he said, "No, I've got stuff to do back at the town hall. I'm busy. I don't want to go fight." And so I then tried to intimidate him by telling him I would kill him if he didn't come with us, and he just laughed.
No. He wasn't he really offended. He was like, "You guys were cool."
Yeah, actually that's it. Yeah, he was kind of taken aback by
Upset.
how. Yeah, he's just upset, wasn't he? Yeah.
Also, what are we going to do with 14
Yeah, I just want people. And he kind of wouldn't come with us, so I thought, fair enough, bye bye.
Yeah, so
See you later.
strange group to meet.
Yeah.
Not very tall one either.
Sure.
So you decided that you didn't want to try and sneak in, actually over the walls or through the front gate and stuff. You could see a couple of old guards and stuff. You couldn't actually see past the chateau because of the way it was built. You couldn't see what was the
There's a
other
big
side.
mountain behind it, isn't there?
There's a mountain behind it. The way the chateau was, there's clearly a courtyard in the back, but you couldn't see what was in there. So you decided to follow the river, a little streamy river bit that goes up into the mountain, and you found a sort of collapsed entrance kind of thing.
Yeah.
So you went in, and you found another little room, which looked like it hadn't been used for ages. It was clearly some sort of like storeroom or something.
I mean, we were stupid at this point.
Yeah. So you literally just got a
Magic-
detect secret doors ritual.
And we had
A
like a
cupboard.
magic keyhole.
Yeah.
A magic
No, no,
key
no,
that we
no,
found.
but we-
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
had a key, but then you
And we
had a
kept
cupboard.
Basically, it was a room where all the doors led to nowhere,
Yeah.
just to walls, and we were like, I think because we're quite standoffish,
Yeah.
we look at everything. It's like we just look at everything first, and it's like, oh, yeah, there's a door opens and there's a wall there. And in our back of our heads, kind of like, no, there might be a secret door. Let's go through this chest of drawers first. Open the first drawer. It's an onion. Open the second drawer. There's a rag. Open the third.
Sorry, do you know what also happened in this room? We all sat down at a table in chairs to rest. We all had to roll, and every chair broke.
Did one break, and then the rest of us laughed, and then all the others broke.
Yeah, and we made us roll for breaking chairs. I don't think we took damage, but I think we were delivered to the floor.
Yeah, it wasn't our proudest moment. In a campaign of lots of non-proud moments.
What's the opposite of pride?
Impotence.
Shame. Shameful thing. So we did our special door ceremony.
Yeah.
You in the end,
Ritual ceremony.
in the end, you found a couple of secret doors, and they led to different passageways, which were clearly sort of.
We sent Igor at one, didn't we?
Let's use the magic key we found
No, you used the magic key.
to open with a secret keyhole.
Yeah. And you checked out the right one first, which turned out to be a long sort of tunnel with a couple of little storerooms that just kept going and going and going. It was clearly
Well, we sent Igor to run all the way up it while we checked out the other one. Which is,
Yeah.
once again, thinking about it back now, it's such a stupid plan.
It's a great plan.
It works.
Igor likes it. We're like, Igor, can you just... There's this tunnel which is up an incline. Can you sprint up there?
And
Give it half an hour, and then after half an hour, sprint back again.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to be pretty tired, guys. See you later.
because you already fired
Oh yeah,
Something
find
down
a
there.
light bulb,
Yeah.
and it just went for ages.
Yeah. So you had one which was going uphill, one which was going downhill, and bearing in mind your dungeoneering skills, you worked out that the downhill one was the one towards the chateau.
Yeah, the other one seems to be going up towards.
Well, because this was
which was where
the
you've been going originally.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
through the mountain pass. We thought maybe it was a
Yeah.
shortcut through the mountains. So we thought that might be. I think we somehow decided it was probably an escape route to like leave the castle.
there was some barracks along the way.
There was along the long one. There was barracks halfway along. Yeah.
And there were like little rooms where there was a bed and stuff, wasn't there? Like every room could have held a guard and guard posts. So yeah, we fucked that corridor off going. Well, that corridor was going the wrong way. So we went for the other tunnel.
and that was it.
And you.
Oh, well, we came across.
No,
We got to a door, didn't
yeah,
we?
you got to a door which you.
I wasn't here for this. You've been playing without me.
No, you were.
Yeah.
The final
This is
thing.
the very end.
The final
yeah.
thing was you got to a door which opened into a dark room.
I must decide who will die and who will live.
There's an angel at one door. Devil on the other.
One door lies, the other tells the truth.
And yeah, we saw inside that. We basically ended up in a cupboard, didn't we? Yeah. And we saw light around the edge of the door. That was how it ended. We saw, oh, this door doesn't open into darkness. This door's going to open.
So you're in a
somewhere
dark
else.
room, and
And then we put our hand on the door, and then it just went to be continued.
The Formal Gamer, podcasts for those with exquisite taste.